on the job. But I think that defense will be able to cover and blanket him and show them, hey, this is game time, this is how we prepare, and this is how we're going to play. So again, Ohio State favorite.
I'm going to go the exact opposite.
Oh!
This is the biggest game for Northwestern since the 1964 national title game. This team has been on the mend for many decades now. Pat Fitzgerald and his team, and Pat Fitzgerald has been called one of the coaches in all the NCAA that players love to play for. He's a real players coach. He knows the way to motivate his players.
You're calling an upset.
I'm calling an upset in this game. This is the biggest game in the program. I still believe Ohio State, even with Braxton Miller, is still one of the most overrated top 5 teams this season. I'm calling this game the upset of the week for me.
We now have Max Ortega crumbling in his paint because he's very upset at the pick that's just been
I'm
made.
not upset. I'm totally not upset.
But he's going to Ohio State. He's going to Northwestern. I too am going to go Ohio State. Braxton Miller will have a huge game. If he doesn't play, Kenny Guy, if he has to play, will have a huge game. The Ohio State Buckeye defense will come to play. The Buckeyes will get a huge win against Northwestern. Next game here on the slate, we have Stanford versus Washington. Kevin Hogan versus Keith Price. David Shaw versus Steve Sarkisian. Maxwell, Stanford, and Washington. Pac-12 battle. What do you got?
Really my most impressive team that I've really seen over the course of this season has got to be Stanford and Washington. They jump out on games. They all run extremely well on each side of the ball. All three of them, special teams, offense, and defense. They're all extremely well coached by experienced coaches. David Shaw, who's really run with the program ever since John Harbaugh was the coach. Jim Harbaugh was the coach there. Sorry, John. I know you won the Super Bowl. But I think it's going to be probably the game of the week. I don't know why ESPN is not there for game day. This is going to be a very, very huge game. Will this be Keith Price draft game that says, hey, I'm a very, very good quarterback. People look at me and the NFL is calling my name. Or will this be the game that shows, just like similar to last season, that sometimes he's just not good enough for the big moment. Maybe he's just a little bit too small to run the option or to carry his team to victory. But also for that, you're going to have to go against probably one of the most physical teams in all of college football, and he's not even in the SEC in Stanford. David Shaw runs that program like a ship. Like
a well-oiled machine.
Well-oiled machine. Kevin Hogan comes back after his freshman year and is continuing to grow and progress in his
He reminds you so much of Andrew Luck. It's unreal.
It's unreal. They are the quarterback school now. You want to play quarterback at Stanford in that program. But I see Stanford winning against Coach Sarkisian because I think Stanford has one goal this year. That's to win the national championship in the Rose Bowl. I don't think anybody's going to stop them, and that's including Oregon.
Stanford for me is the number 2 ranked team in the entire nation right now.
You're putting them ahead of the Ducks.
I'm putting them ahead of the Ducks right now. Because last year they beat them in Eugene,
Sure.
and this year they have the game in Stanford, which is even a bigger home field advantage than previous years because this team has shown complete and utter dominance in every single game they've played. They've shown that we're not a team to mess with. Even teams that were thought of as hey, maybe they're an upstart team. I believe it was Arizona State. Nope, kicked them, set them out, lit them on fire, all that mess. They put numbers up on them. And I believe this game will be a good game for Washington, but I'm not seeing it at all. I don't see any way. I'm predicting this game to be a blowout. Actually, I just don't see any way Washington will win. But if Washington does win this, will honestly be one of the biggest wins in program history.
I too am going to go with the Stanford Cardinal. Kevin Hogan's done a phenomenal job filling in for Andrew Luck in the NFL, and as Maxwell mentioned, David Shaw did a phenomenal job with that program. But that is all for today on 15 and Counting. Once again, our thanks go out to the courtesy, the hospitality, the heartbeat of the University of Alabama, it being Rama Jammas. Once again, if you want the best in quality food, quality water, great service, you come right here to Rama Jammas. They have it well for you. The faculty and staff here is just simply amazing. You can always catch the 15 and Counting preview and recap show every Thursday via YouTube right here at Rama Jammas. You can also follow us on Twitter, Touchdown Alabama Magazine at TD Alabama, and on Facebook, being Touchdown Alabama Magazine. You can follow each of us on our respective Facebook and Twitter accounts as well. The game between Alabama and Georgia State will be played on Saturday, this coming Saturday, in Bryant Stadium. The times not being between 11 and 12 o'clock. For all of us here at Touchdown Alabama Magazine, I'm your host, Stephen M. Smith. Beside me, Ivan White and Maxwell Taylor. Enjoy the game. And until next time, so long, everybody, and roll tide.
Roll Tide.